All right, it is 5:01. We've got the audio now working there. I forgot to press a button. Sometimes that happens. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. We're here with some wall-to-wall severe weather coverage now on our digital platforms only. Facebook, we are on our Twitter, we are on YouTube, and then we are streaming through our WCIA3 weather app. I see everyone saying there's no sound. We got that fixed. Simple button now as far as it goes. So we'll be here throughout the rest of the evening and tonight as far as things go. Let's start first and talk about our severe thunderstorm watch that is in place for parts of central Illinois. This watch goes until 9 o'clock, includes all of these pink counties here. We've got Morgan, Sangamon, Macon, Moultrie, Christian, Shelby, Effingham, Fayette, Macoupin, and Montgomery counties for that severe thunderstorm watch. This corridor of yellow here are severe thunderstorm warnings. We've added Morgan and Sangamon County until 6 o'clock. The main threats with this will be damaging winds of 60 miles an hour and quarter-size hail, although we could end up seeing some of that hail size grow to closer to half-dollar size as far as it goes. Just an update on programming for you. What will happen is tonight there may not end up being much, if any, of a 6 o'clock newscast. Just the way the March Madness schedule works, but we'll be here on digital all night with you covering these storms as they roll on through with those severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm in the studio here now. We've got Jack Griffin on the sidelines. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy is out in the field. Before we get too much further, we're going to pull up the radar and talk specifically about who's under these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in here. If you're watching now and you're watching us in areas of Sangamon and southern Morgan County, that's primarily where we've got this here. This looks like it's going to include areas just to the south of downtown Springfield. So if you're at the Interstate 55-72 split on the south side, you can take 6th Street into town. From there south will include Lake Springfield, Chatham, Auburn, Pawnee, down towards areas of the county line. It also will include Verdon, Girard, and Waverly under this particular warning here as this storm moves off to the north and east. This particular severe thunderstorm warning does not include New Berlin. It does not include the north and west sides of Springfield. It does not include Sherman or Mechanicsburg. We think that's the southern half of Sangamon County, particularly the corridor from Auburn to Pawnee that has our interest here with this storm moving on in the general direction across the region. We've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy, who's out in the field. We'll go ahead and bring Kevin up here and toss to him. Kevin, you are out there right now watching the storm. Tell us where you are and what you're seeing.
Lightning strikes. So you can see on the far right side of the picture there is actually the heavy rainfall and the hail, and then you've got kind of the back side there of the storm that we're kind of looking into that gets us a nice view. Maybe you just saw that lightning strike there off in the distance. Like I said, plenty of lightning that we've got with this. And what I'm actually going to be doing here is, so I'm in the storm tracker, and so I'm going to need to start getting just a little bit more to the north. So what I can actually do is as I turn around, I'm going to give you guys our back camera view, and you'll be able to watch and kind of see that storm from the back view here as I kind of drive away. So again, this storm here is moving off to the north and east. We are probably going to head back up here north towards Girard, and that is going to be along Highway 4 there. So we're going to shoot back to the north along Highway 4 and just kind of get a little bit more to the north on this. Definitely seeing some lightning there as of right now. Not seeing any strong rotation with this, but it bears some watching. We're going to be looking over there towards the Palmyra area and Modesto. Maybe some interesting radar signatures trying to show up over there, but we're going to continue to show this to you, and Jacob will send it back to you as I kind of reposition myself, and we'll let you know what else we gather here.
All right, thanks for that, Kevin. Again, Kevin is down in parts of southern Sangamon, northern Macoupin County, in the Girard area from what we heard from him. We will go ahead, and if we can, first off, if we can, we'll double box with Kevin on the left side of the screen so we can keep his stream up and watch where he's going, and then we'll keep me on the right as we talk about things here. Again, our main focus right now is for Sangamon and Morgan County for a supercell thunderstorm. You can see that wall cloud in Kevin's shot. It's right off the edge of the screen here on your left, my right. And he's getting a look at that. So we'll keep his shot up and watch and check in from him again as far as things go. And we're getting those mic issues figured out here and taken care of. I apologize. This is my first rodeo here in Central Illinois for severe weather as far as at WCI. So every once in a while, I'll take the blame. We have an issue here and there, but we got those straightened out and keep things rolling for you as far as it goes. So allegedly, my mic is echoing now. And hopefully we get that fixed here. Just having some issues in the side and coordinating things. It happens. We'll get this done here. The good news is today is not overly a substantial threat, but it is a bit of a threat that we want to take serious here as far as the hail, which has my interest. And then as these storms continue to move in, the severe weather threat will start to pick up a little bit for us. Let's take it full screen here and talk about the entire region while we can and what we're looking at. First off, something to mention is that one thing we've got going against us today is that the radar site in Lincoln is down right now. We don't have that radar up. It's part of the service upgrades that they're doing for us here in Central Illinois, and it's just something that happens. So we're using radars from different areas here. I don't know if it's possible if we can stick me on the green screen real quick, just in case, and if we can use Max 2 for that green screen as well, that'll be helpful for us. But you can see those storms moving in our general direction here. What we expect is that we'll have one or two of these storms coming on in as far as it goes. Here's this one storm that started going in Pike County, Missouri, carried through Pike County, Illinois, and eventually has made its way now into southern Morgan, northern Macoupin, and now eventually the southern part of Sangamon County here. There's another one down by St. Louis. This one may affect our friends in Shelby, Fayette, Effingham counties in the next couple of hours here. And I think that's going to be our main event as far as what we expect here in Central Illinois. The radar in Lincoln is down, so we're using Max 2 if we can here now. And normally we get a great view. The reason for that being down is they're doing some service upgrades, which will extend the life of that radar for the next 10 to 15 years, more than likely. They're putting a generator in, getting some equipment upgraded. So just so happens that in early March, or late March, I should say, that radar not working. So we're using Chicago, we're using the radar in the Quad Cities, we're watching from our radar in St. Louis and down in Evansville, Indiana. They still give us a good view here, but maybe not as great of a view, and that's why it's great that we have Kevin out in the field watching things for us here in Central Illinois. So for the rest of the area, there's some light showers in McLean, Livingston, Ford, and Iroquois counties. That's going to come from Bloomington down towards Leroy, Bellflower, to the north of Gibson City, up towards Onarga and Gilman, and that will be bringing some light rain for Kempton, Pontiac, Dwight. You go down to Forest and Fairbury. You get down here towards Chenoa, even down towards the Atlanta and Logan County and McLean in southwestern McLean County there. That will more than likely keep the air stable for our friends that are north of Interstate 74, Iroquois, Ford, Livingston, McLean counties. If we continue this track off to the north and east, moving at about 45 miles an hour or so, that's going to bring it through Decatur in the next hour or so here in Central Illinois. Then we'll be bringing it towards Champaign, perhaps somewhere close to 7 o'clock. So we've got time here. My concern mainly is that there'll be some gusty winds out there with this storm as they start to bow out or become more concentrated in clusters. And as long as it's looking a little more isolated, we just can't rule out that we get a little bit of a tornado threat with that. That threat low today, not zero, but it is low. So we'll keep a close eye on that as it moves off to the north and east here. More east than north, that is, about 45 miles an hour or so, with the warning for Morgan and Sangamon County going until 6 o'clock. And then we'll have to watch that second supercell that's had some hail reports in the north and west side of St. Louis along Interstate 70, Interstate 270. That one will stay about 30 miles south here as they slide on through. Our severe threat starts now. We said it would start at 5 o'clock, and it will go until about 10 o'clock tonight before storms exit the area in Central Illinois. So we'll be watching things close and keeping an update on them as far as it goes. We will get through and use the radar to the best of our ability here as far as it goes. we still get a great view, frankly, from those other radars. It's not the end of the world for us, but it just doesn't give us as great as we would like here. We were really spoiled in central Illinois by the Lincoln radar as far as things go. Let's go ahead and bring it back to the pod and double box with Kevin. We'll see where he's driving through right now. You notice in his shot some of those tall clouds there. The base of those clouds are actually a bit higher, which may help lessen the tornado threat. We always want to see where those base of the clouds are. But Kevin's been watching a bit of a wall cloud, and we've had some reports of that in parts of northern Macoupin County. That can be the first sign of rotation. And so Kevin being in the field is fantastic for us because he'll have eyes if something does start to spin and maybe generate a little bit more rotation as far as it goes. So that's why we like to be in the field, and we like to bring you coverage from the studio combined here as part of our team effort in central Illinois. Let's get a little more down to business and take a look more at this severe thunderstorm and talk about where it is. We'll focus on the warnings that are in our area here over the next couple of hours. That does not mean we're forgetting about you. There'll be folks that are asking, what about Thomasboro? What about Rantoul? What about Danville? What about Paris? If we're not mentioning your town, that's probably a good thing at this point. Every so often, we'll reset and take a clean view of the area. But the focus is for this cluster of storms here now be coming from Waverly down towards Palmyra, and eventually you take that highway to the south. It'll take you towards the direction of Carlinville from Verdon and Millwood. That will move to the north and east, now starting to enter into southwestern Sangamon County, to the east of Waverly there. And that's something we'll continue to watch for us here. Kevin making a turn down a road and going to give us a great view underneath that. You see how high that base is there. That's a sign that this would be more of a damaging wind threat than anything. I don't know if we have Kevin still there as he's driving towards that. I'd like to get an update for that. So, Demaria, if you can let me know in my ear if we've got Kevin and we can toss to him. But a very impressive shot here. If you're off to the east, you'll see these storms coming and be able to get a good shot here. And we'll take a camera tour then after we talk to Kevin. So, Kevin, you got a great view of that storm there. Tell us a little more about what you're looking at and where you are.
All right, so I am now just north of Girard. I'm pretty much right in between Girard and Verdon, and this thing is literally coming right on top of me. That is going to be the very heavy rainfall and hail on the left side of your screen. You can kind of see where it is a little clearer there, but where that is really dark, that right there is the extremely heavy rainfall and probably some hail. You're probably going to see a few lightning strikes here starting to, I've seen several of these just kind of pop up here in the last few minutes, several cloud to ground lightning strikes. So we are really close. We are probably just a few miles away from this storm here, and it's probably going to overtake us here in just a little bit. But what you're seeing is the downdraft of the thunderstorm. You're seeing the very heavy precipitation that is coming down with this. That's why the sky is so dark there on the right side of your screen. And so we're still just kind of trying to peek into that backside where if there would be any rotation, we'd be able to see it. But again, this thing is literally just a few miles away. Definitely there's going to be some hail in there based upon the radar signature. And from what I can see here as well. But this storm is basically, I'm looking, there's a nice little lightning strike there, looking directly west right now from my vantage point between Girard and Verdon. And this storm is coming literally right at me at this time. So you can kind of see the movement of it, just hearing the thunder from that as well. So again, it is an impressive view of this cell as it's moving in. This is a prolific rainfall and probably hail maker in there with you know, there could be some quarter-size hail located within this storm. And so, again, as this storm gets a little bit closer to me, it's going to get a little bit darker. And so far, we're not in the rain, but that is going to change, I'm going to guess, within the next 90 seconds to 2 minutes or so as this storm is kind of creeping right in on me. Again, that left side of your screen, you kind of see how it's far left side is a little clearer, and then you get that dark, this looks like kind of sheets of darkness there and rain, and that's what's coming down, the very heavy rainfall and hail that's in that storm. So again, my position right in between Verdon and Girard, and this thing is going to be rolling over the top of me here in the next couple of minutes. I'm not seeing rotation, but there's a little bit of rising motion that is occurring here, but I'm not seeing rotation with this, but definitely quite a bit of lightning And I'm sure here in just a little bit, if we don't get out ahead of this, we're going to get pummeled with some of this rain and maybe some of the hail here as well. But again, it's coming right at me here as we speak.
All right, thanks, Kevin. I got to say, I'm a little jealous of you being out there. You and I both love being out in the field and looking at these storms as far as it goes. We've still got your shot up, and we're going to keep that up for a little bit. Again, Kevin down on Highway 4 between Verdon and Girard, and we'll be moving to the north and east. The storm is moving a little faster now with 50-mile-an-hour winds. We'll go ahead and talk about some towns that are in the path of this. Again, the warning right now is just for Sangamon and Morgan counties. It's as far southern, southeastern Morgan County and then southern half of Sangamon County. There'll be areas to the south of Springfield. Springfield proper, not under this warning. This will include Chatham. If you go to the south there around Lake Springfield, on the south side, eventually south of Rochester towards Edinburgh and into the Auburn and Pawnee areas as far as it goes. So Kevin will be taking a look at that. And it's good to see that wall cloud not there anymore. At first, Kevin, when you were first out there, that wall cloud was pretty impressive. It seems like it almost evaporated a little bit. There goes a local fire department doing some storm spotting as well. That wall cloud no longer there, Kevin.
There's something right there. Yeah, there's something right here in front of me. I'm just kind of keeping an eye on. It's kind of just right here. It seems detached from the base a little bit there, but seeing kind of where the inflow is coming into this. I mean, it's a pretty impressive structure here. As this is kind of coming right at me, you can kind of see the darker area that's right there. Boy, these lightning strikes are getting closer and closer here, so you know the storm is coming right at me. But yeah, just kind of watching it here. I'm not seeing anything. There's not that that same lowering we had before. It is kind of it definitely's got some hail. Just got a report of looks like back towards Palmyra. They had a little bit of hail in there. And so now that is exactly what is coming in my direction here. That's going to be the hail shaft right here. Literally, you're looking right at that. That's probably hail that's coming down right there on the kind of left side of your screen there. So impressive here right now, and probably going to reposition here shortly, but because I'm just starting to get a couple little raindrops here. But you're looking right at the storm right now.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We will keep your shot up. We'll check back with you in a little bit here. What I want to do actually is go ahead and talk about some of these towns that are in the path downstream from this. The warning still for Sangamon County. It seems like by this point we can call all clear from Morgan County. But we're going to watch for our friends in Auburn. The time now 5:18. This storm knocking on Auburn's doorstep. 5:20 the time there. 5:24 in Divernon. You get down towards Kincaid. That's off to the east on be 104 to the east there. And that will be about 5:39. Taylorville, this may come close to you by about 5:45, and eventually it'll move into southern Macon County. Blue Mound towards Booty and Flat Branch closer to the 6 o'clock hour. So we'll watch it closely here as far as things go. And very much an impressive storm for the area here early season. Again, we're looking at this from the St. Louis radar. Not overly concerned right now with any rotation. Kevin's there. He's got eyes on it. If there's anything that does happen, we'll watch it. But that new severe thunderstorm warning just popped across, I saw, adds the far northern part of Montgomery County. That'd be the panhandle there of Montgomery County. If you're driving south from Pawnee and Auburn, you hit down towards Divernon. They've gone ahead and added the warning for that area. With a 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail. We have not gotten any hail reports. If you have any hail reports from this particular storm, we would like to know more about that in the chat. If those of you living in Sangamon County, Macoupin, Montgomery County areas, as far as things go. Taking a look back at the region, we'll do these check-ins periodically. We've got some folks in Paxton saying there's some rain there. A couple of rain showers up north there. We're not concerned about that. We're mostly focused on these pair of thunderstorms that are to the south here. One coming through St. Louis. In fact, in the St. Louis metro, they've had reports of quarter to golf ball size hail on the northwest side of Springfield. Of St. Louis. That's heading to the east. So that southern cell does have reports of some golf ball size hail with it. Eventually downstream, an hour or so away, would be Montgomery County, Fayette County, and then off to the north and east, perhaps Shelby County, Effingham County. We got time to watch, but we'll keep an eye on that here. We're mainly focused on this storm here, which has quite the impressive signature. These dark pinks and even some purple mixing in an indication of some higher reflectivity values, which would be more indicative of some higher returns, potentially hail as far as it goes. I'm going to switch to a product. This is called the Debris Tracker product. We don't expect any debris with it, but what I do anticipate is that with this, it's going to show some of those lower returns there. Another way we can use this is see that there's likely some hail in the storm coming into Verdon and Auburn. That's what I'm looking for. I don't see any tornado debris. We would not expect that. But there's some returns that maybe indicate that we are seeing some hail in there. And I'll check another product. And it looks like there's going to be a fairly decent hail core somewhere between Verdon and Auburn. So we'll see if Kevin ends up getting into that a little bit. You're traditionally looking at base reflectivity here. Storm Tracker Doppler, there's bright pinks and purples as far as it goes in central Illinois. And of course, Kevin now has the back camera on, driving away. That storm coming in right behind him as he is down in northern Macoupin County near Verdon. And I'm going to assume he's going to keep blasting to the east towards Interstate 55, eventually make his way, probably stay south of Sangamon County and head towards Christian County as far as it goes here in the region. This is a look again at our warnings. We'll take a more of a broad view here and continue to watch this. Again, we're only on our digital platforms now. We're staying off the television. We've got the crawl going. If there happens to be some rotation and there were to be a tornado warning, then we would cut in. But for now, we are staying on our digital platform as far as things go. So Kevin will be maybe in and out with his video if he hits a cell service area. You know, we may see that here. It looks like he's going north on Highway 4 right now, if I had to guess based on where he is. But you can see that impressive structure there as far as it goes. So he'll be moving to avoid that hail on our storm tracker. We don't want to damage it this early in the season. We got some new stuff in there. Kevin's using some nice cameras and getting good views on it as far as it goes. I do want to zoom in a little bit and talk more about the potential for rotation. We're going to evaluate it. I don't expect any at this point, and we'll kind of break down velocity for you here. Again, we're looking at velocity now from the St. Louis radar, and there's a lot of noisy returns there. I don't see anything that stands out. In fact, if we can go ahead and bring me full screen for a little bit here, we'll kind of analyze this a little bit. What we're looking at here are these values. When you see reds means going away from the radar, green going towards. So we've got some winds that are outbound flowing away from this storm off to the east here, and there could be some values of 50 to 60 mile an hour very much along the leading edge of that there. As it continues to push to the east, then we also have to watch the hail threat. If we were looking for rotation, you want to see the red and green come together, but there's just not any green in here, and it seems like this storm more outflow dominant. A cold pool amassing aloft, which can help with hail potential, also help with the potential for some straight line winds as far as it goes. So that's probably going to be our biggest threat as far as it goes. I don't really think we're going to have to deal with any tornadic circulations at this point. If that changes, though, we're right here. We'll be with you through the night. That threat is still a bit low. Let's talk more about our risk of severe weather here in central Illinois. This is the tornado risk map here. We're only at a 2 on a 10 scale, 1 to 10. 2 is pretty low. It's not 0, but it's not a big risk by any means. It just means we're watching just to be sure nothing gets out of hand here. This is not a tornado event for us here in central Illinois, but it is just an event where maybe something can get going. In that area we would watch for that to happen, we think probably more than likely, we've said from last night into the day today, would be closer to Interstate 70. I won't rule it out as far north here, but I think that would mainly be down here that we'd have to watch if something were to spin up as far as it goes. And so that's what we'll continue to watch here. As far as the wind and hail risk, you'll see here on our scale, the colors, we're at that yellow here. It's still fairly low. It's not all that high, but that entire area is under this. We expect a couple of these storms to roll on through, and that's what we're seeing. The hail risk right there with it, still at yellow here on the blue, yellow, red, pink, and purple scale. That's a 2 out of 5. And so not overly concerned for a widespread hail event, not overly concerned for a widespread damaging wind event, but we will see some reports from this as far as it goes. All right, Kevin, I see it's getting a little noisy and windy and rainy there. You look like you're at the Casey's. Is that in Girard? Tell us where you are.
Yep, we are in Girard, or we're in Verdon. I'm in Verdon. I've got, I've got some probably, let me see here, dime to nickel size hail. We are in the heavy, heavy part of this storm here. I went north there. We're pretty much in the core of this thing there. I did pull over to come inside of the, at least underneath the awning here, because we were starting to get some larger hail. Probably had some quarters there just south of Verdon, between Girard and Verdon. So we've got some hail that's coming down right now. Gusty winds here as this storm overtaking our position here at this point. There was briefly there was a little bit of a lowering that was right to my west as I was along Highway 4 there. It was pretty impressive. I couldn't quite tell because we started to get into the very heavy rainfall and the hail, but there was a small little lowering that was coming right at me from the west along Highway 4 as I kind of jumped a little bit more into the hail core of this. But there's something to maybe kind of look at in there. Like you said, it's so difficult with the radar views that we're having to use because of not being able to have the Lincoln radar there. But it's got something in there potentially. At least we were kind of just right there south. It would be southeast of Verdon now. Maybe something to just kind of keep an eye on. So I'm going to try to reposition here now that it looks like kind of the hail slowly coming to an end, and I'll send it back to you here for right now.
All right, thanks, Kevin. You got a great shot there. We can see some of that hail bouncing there in Verdon, and we're looking at that on radar. That heaviest core sitting right over Verdon here will likely stay just to the south of Auburn. You go east of Auburn towards the Interstate 55 exit. There's a couple gas stations there and a couple of buildings out there. Probably going to very close to there, but I would think in the direction this is heading, this may end up heading east, north, and east. So we're probably thinking Pawnee maybe would be more than likely to see it, but it looks like on the last hour here, let me just slow it down a little bit, maybe taking a little more of an eastward direction, a little bit of a right turn, which would make sense to help with that hail potential here in central Illinois. So that may be heading straight for Taylorville, Morrisonville, eventually towards Assumption and Pana. We're going to watch this storm as it moves in that way. Of course, Kevin moving now with that heavy rain out there. The severe thunderstorm warning has not been, he has not been extended yet, but we'll watch for it. I'm going to guess Christian County warning will be coming shortly here into the region. If that happens, then we'll be right here and watch it. So we want to give a heads up to Taylorville and Pana for some quarter-size hail heading in your general direction. The first heads up that is as this storm moves off to the east. And eventually we'll probably slide south of Decatur. We thought maybe it was taking a little more of an east-northeast. Sometimes these storms, as they strengthen and anchor themselves to the surface, they can take a little more of a right turn from northeast to east. And that's very much what I'd suggest we're seeing here as far as it goes. So that would maybe right towards Taylorville and Lake Taylorville, eventually Highway 51 between Moweaqua, Assumption, and Pana, and off towards northern Shelby County. That'd be where I think this storm is going in particular. Springfield, you're all clear. Illiopolis, all clear. We go to the north of Springfield towards Sherman, all clear here. New Berlin, we're good. Even down towards Waverly, all clear for you. Still, though, Girard and Auburn, off towards Interstate 55, north of Raymond, up towards the Divernon exit, and in towards the Auburn-Pawnee exit. That's where that storm is leading edge now, moving off to the east. We'll take another wide view here and kind of talk about things in central Illinois. Take a wide view. There's some folks that have been saying, hey, I've got some rain in my area. And so we want to just make sure everyone's aware. If we're not talking about you, it doesn't mean we've forgotten about you. We're just focused on other areas. I think days like today when we have severe weather, you don't want us talking about your community. You don't want us talking about your neighborhood. But we'll be here and talk about those areas which are likely to see some hail. And I wouldn't be surprised with this storm taking a bit more of a right turn that we will get some bigger hail reports here. Still, the latest has up to quarter-size hail with this storm. And just double-checking here real quick. Still, with this particular storm, quarter-size hail being reported, some dime-size hail in the area. No update to that if they're going to extend it yet. But likely that storm now knocking on the door for Christian County. It only makes sense the National Weather Service will extend that here momentarily for us. And when that happens, we'll watch that box pop up, and that will probably go until about 6:30 or so would be my best guess. So if you're in Taylorville, you're in Assumption, you're in Moweaqua, even Pana, be on guard, be ready. You might want to move the car in, get the kids in. A lot of frequent lightning, some large hail, and some gusty winds are a safe bet with this particular storm as it moves across the area here. And so we'll keep watching it and keep our eyes on it as far as it goes. What I will do again, we've been watching. Kevin said he mentioned he saw a little bit of a lowering here. I'm not seeing anything that is concerning at this point with anything sticking out. Perhaps you know, there's going to be some straight line winds. That's what I would say the best thing. And I don't see anything that sticks out. The radar beam, though, is a little high, and so it may be it may be hard to tell exactly what's going on with this particular storm. That's why we love having Kevin in the field. We're looking at the radar beam at about 6,000 feet up. That's just because it's coming from St. Louis. This area, you can get 4,000 or 5,000 feet, even lower than that. If you got the Lincoln radar on, that's a lot closer. But it's down again. They're doing service upgrades to prepare for the spring season. It just is unfortunate that the overlap is happening while we're here with severe weather coverage at this particular event. The good news, this is not a widespread event. This is not a tornado event. We can't rule one out, but mainly it seems like we're shaping in for a hail and a wind threat with this particular storm moving off to the east. As it now crosses Interstate 55 from Sangamon County into northern Montgomery and Macoupin County in the region. So what I want to do is, real quick, I'm going to reset my graphics and make sure we are got things in, and it's not quite working here. I want to do is I want to talk, see if we have Kevin now. Let's toss to Kevin and see where he's updated, what his thoughts are about moving in. Looks like he's there now, sitting at the Shell gas station. Kevin, where'd you go? What's your plan here moving forth with this storm?
Yeah, so I shot back south, came into the Verdon area, and as I'm kind of driving through, looks like they got some wind with this because there are several little branches that are actually down. They're small, but you can definitely tell that they just had some wind come through here. So Verdon, I think, got the wind. Girard got the, I'm sorry, I completely mixed those two up. Verdon that I was in got the hail. Girard got some of the wind because we had several of little branches when as I drove through town there. So I am now heading back east and going to try to get ahead of this here. So I'm going to be between Girard and Farmersville, and we're going to try to get back ahead of this and see if we can't catch it again. But seeing some ponding on the roadways and whatnot, but we definitely got a little bit of wind with this as it came through. So I'm going to be tracking on the southern edge of this, and I don't know, it may be tough for me to get ahead, but we're going to try to get into Christian County and see what else we can see.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Be careful there. We see the road's got some of that water on there. The storm is moving fairly quickly here. We did just get the new warning as well here as far as it goes. So we are just going to update that and let folks know that are watching in Christian County and still southeastern Sangamon County. At this point, we can call all clear for Auburn, Chatham, down towards Verdon. Still, though, the hail now coming towards southwest of Taylorville, towards Morrisonville. And you get to Taylorville, Edinburgh, Stonington, Moweaqua, Assumption, and areas just north of Pana. Likely to get that here. This severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:15 for Christian County. 60-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail is likely. Kevin, you're looking at something a bit interesting here, and I see that lowering in front of you as you're heading to the east right now, I believe. Is that correct,
Yep.
Kevin?
Yep, that's correct. So right in front of me, so I'm actually in a fairly good position here, being just on the southern tip of this storm. So yeah, you can kind of see, a small little lowering, very ragged, not rotating much, but definitely kind of what we were seeing a little bit earlier there. Again, that's going to be on your right side of your screen as we kind of pass these trees. You'll see it pop up here again. But I am technically behind the storm, but I am on the southern edge of it as well. So as I mentioned, I am now traveling back here to the east, or heading east, I should say. And so I'm going to be between the Girard area and Farmersville. But yeah, this is going to be the back edge of the storm where we'd want to be kind of looking at something. And on the radar that I'm looking at, you always kind of look at the southern edge, the southern kind of point to these little cells here, and see if you can kind of see anything. But there is, there's definitely something there to just kind of monitor and watch. Again, I'm not seeing much in the way of rotation, but there is a lowering of, the cloud base there just a little bit. So we'll have to kind of keep a close eye on that. But I'm going to have a really good view here, I think, in the next 5 minutes or so as I kind of catch up to this.
All right, Kevin, yeah, you're looking good there as far as it goes. We don't want anything to come down, but if it does, you'll be there in the storm tracker watching it closely for us, and we appreciate you taking your Saturday to keep an eye on the field for us. We've got that report forward that you had of some hail to the National Weather Service, and that doesn't surprise me, given how things are looking here in central Illinois with this particular storm in the area. So we'll watch it. We'll keep you updated on that. Kevin, we'll check back on with you here probably about 5 or 10 minutes or so as far as it goes. I am getting some things organized here, back scenes, and what we're going to do is we're going to widen out. Take another view. We focus a lot on the areas storms are happening. We will not focus a lot on areas where storms are not happening. But we'll still check in and keep folks aware. We take a look here at our storm tracker Doppler. There are some heavier showers, perhaps a few rumbles of thunder. In fact, I'll turn the lightning on here in parts of the area. Looks like a few rumbles there towards Paxton, up towards Loda, to the east, perhaps heading towards Cissna Park, and off towards East Lynn and Rankin. A couple of little storms up there. I'm not worried about that. The air overall to the north is stable in central Illinois. As far as it goes. I just want to check real quick in the back if the audio for the storm tracker is on, if we can make sure that's off, just to keep that clean and as far as it goes. And then we'll jump back here. These showers I'm not overly concerned about north of Interstate 72. It seems like this storm will be our storm to deal with, right now located in southeastern Sangamon, moving into Christian County. And then downstream, we'll have to watch this other storm coming out of St. Louis, as it's had some reports of some quarter to golf ball size hail in the St. Louis metro. That will continue to push off to the east and northeast a little bit, maybe an Interstate 70 rider for us here across the region. But our focus is in our viewing area, and that rightfully so is for Christian and Sangamon counties here in central Illinois. I'm checking some of these reports. What time is it going to hit here? What time is it going to hit there? Will the severe thunderstorm watch be extended? Let's take a look at that watch right now and just talk about who's in, who's out as far as the counties. This severe thunderstorm watch goes until 9 o'clock. It includes areas west of Interstate 57, south of Interstate 72. And we'll be there for 9 o'clock. Could it be extended to the east? The chances there, yes. So if you're watching us in Danville, Champaign, Tuscola, Mattoon, Charleston, towards Crispin, Paris, towards Kansas, Cumberland County, over towards Clark County, storms are heading your way. Is it possible we get the watch extended? Yes, that's on the table. But at this point, we have a narrow window of opportunity given some instability in the atmosphere. And what that instability has done is allowed us to have this one severe storm here coming south and east of Springfield into the Taylorville area here in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and some more off to the south. The further north we go, there's not much instability there. We did get some sunshine, but those rain showers now you're seeing from Paxton towards Farmers City, towards Lincoln, Bloomington, Clinton, areas like that, will keep the instability down, which means we'll probably more than likely avoid seeing anything north of 72. And at this path it's going, this storm in particular may end up missing us in Champaign. It may stay to the south. If it keeps moving in an eastward direction, that's going to go towards Mattoon, Charleston, Arcola, Tuscola eventually, but that's probably about an hour and a half to 2 hours away. The focus now is, of course, on Christian County, Sangamon County, and still the warning in place for Macoupin and Montgomery County. But I want to think at this point we can call it all clear for those particular areas. Let's go ahead and check back in on radar here and look at that particular storm. Again, not overly worried about it at this point for us to tornado potential. We'll watch it. Kevin's got a great shot where he is as he continues to head off to the east out of Girard towards the Farmersville area. This hail core looks like it's setting itself up now to the east of Interstate 55, and that's going to be in northern Montgomery counties as well as now far southeastern Sangamon County. I can't rule out south of Pawnee, and it looks like it may even be well south of Pawnee at this point. Pawnee is going to be located right here on 104. This may end up being a Lake Taylorville and south, whereas Taylorville proper could very well miss it. It looks like it's just taking more and more of a slow turn to the south here. No longer moving northeast, moving east. And at that track here, if it stays south of 104, it'll be darn close to Taylorville to get some hail, but we'll watch where this heaviest hail core is here as it continues to move off to the east. It'll be areas like Bear Creek towards Morrisonville, Palmer perhaps getting into that, the Clarksdale community, and areas to the south of Kincaid, areas south of the power plant that's out there on 104, south of the Taylorville Airport. You've got the golf course down there by Lake Taylorville, and the Lakeshore Golf Course, probably south of Hewittsville would see that hail core, but I just can't rule it out, Taylorville. If you're watching us in Taylorville, coming in your direction. So we just think it's going to be close. And then as it continues off to the east, that's going to cross Highway 29 to the south and east of Taylorville, probably towards Owanaco, and will come close to Pana, but it may slip between Taylorville and Pana. and head towards Assumption. That's where that severe thunderstorm warning does go until 6:15 for Christian County. So we'll continue to watch this here, and we've got Kevin shot up as he continues his drive. Eventually, he'll be crossing, if he hasn't already, into Montgomery County. We'll probably have to slip across Interstate 55 and keep moving off to the east from Farmersville, take some rural roads, and he'll find himself, I think, close to Morrisonville and Palmer. And from there, then he'll hop on 48 more than likely, unless he decides to keep going to the east and take some of those country roads down towards Pana. Very rural, flat area, a lot of agriculture there. We don't have any crops in the field, so this isn't going to damage any crops. But if you got a car and you got some quarter hail coming in, and it could be larger at times, that could cause some damage. And so we're giving that heads up to friends in Taylorville. You got some time, Assumption, Moweaqua, down towards areas just to the north of Pana. And then eventually next down the stream is going to be northern Shelby County. Very much may slip through Shelbyville and the Lake Shelbyville area up towards areas between Shelbyville and Sullivan. That's where that lake sits. And you've got Findlay and Mattoon and Charleston, Cooks Mills downstream, Arcola, even Arthur, Lovington. Depending on where this storm goes, we'll have to watch some of those areas here moving on forth. That's our one storm we've got. If I take a look at this on radar, and I'm kind of checking some of my other radar here on the side, it just seems more than anything that the storm itself is staying more outflow dominant, which we would expect in a particular event like this. We just can't rule out that something's going to spin up. That threat is low today for tornadoes. That's why we're only on our digital platforms. If you've got friends that are in Christian County, Shelby County, perhaps areas south of Decatur towards Moweaqua, Macon, even down towards the Moultrie County, or if you got folks that are towards EIU, you might tag them in this and say, hey, there's some strong storms with some hail coming your way. I think everyone loves a heads up, and when you're that friend, you can give them an alert and say, hey, we got some hail, confirmed reports of that coming on in. This storm has slid well south of Springfield, thankfully. We thought it was taking a more northeastward jog, kind of anchored itself down and is moving off to the east with a heavy hail core, if anything. Just looking at some of this radar data here, Kevin had some quarter-size hail in Verdon, and we'll see if he's able to catch back up. But my guess is to avoid any problems, he's going to keep that in front of him and watch in from the backside, which is a great place to be if anything does start to get going as far as it goes. I really think at this point that south side of Taylorville down towards Lake Taylorville, Owanaco, Palmer, that's where that hail core is heading here. A pretty good signal of some hail, and it may very well be quarter, half dollar. We haven't had any reports of larger than quarter, but I'm just looking at some of this data and thinking this storm is getting a little stronger as far as that hail core, getting some cold air aloft and continuing to move off to the east, about 50 miles an hour. So let's go ahead and put a storm track on this here. There's that latest scan now. That center of the hail core is due to the east of Farmersville, basically far northeastern panhandle of Montgomery County and the southwestern portion of Christian County, down by Highway 48 to the east of there, to the west of there, I should say, to the south of 104. As far as it goes. So that's where that heaviest hail core is. I haven't seen any reports of any reports in our chat. And if you're watching, we appreciate it. We're glad to have you on our digital platforms watching, whether you're on our app, you're on Twitter, you're on YouTube. We enjoy having you, and we would like to hear your reports. Looks like in Vermilion County, some questions there asking, this storm may stay south, but it may stay south closer to Sidell if it goes a little more north. I don't think this is a Danville problem. I really don't think at this point this looks like a Champaign-Urbana problem, but it seems more than likely it'll be a Taylorville problem here momentarily. It'll be a Shelbyville problem and Mattoon-Charleston problem as far as it goes in the next bit. Fooslin got a report from Priscilla. She says the wind just hit Fooslin. And so she's let us know that here. We'll check some of those chats here on our digital platforms. So thanks for that. We appreciate that. But she says it's just rain, and that's what we expect. We don't think there's any hail north there. The instability values, what instability is simply a measure of how much energy is in the atmosphere for storms to produce. Not all that high off to the north there. It is a bit higher to the south, but we got that rain that came in. And if you've got some of those showers like you've got in Fooslin or Gibson City, Elliott, Paxton, off to the north and east, you're not going to have to worry, I think, about hail here. It's going to stay more to the south than anything. And I'm just checking some of those values now to see. It looks like, the highest Cape values are still yet to come for this. The highest instability ahead of this storm in Christian County, centered over Moultrie and Coles and Douglas counties. So this storm has plenty of fuel to eat with, plenty of energy to work with here as it moves off to the east. So would suspect that hail will be a thing continuing to move forth here across the region. Just got a report across the chat for the Sangamon-Montgomery Christian County line. It's going to be the Zenobia area to the east of Boys to Ark. That's looks like the emergency management officials there had half-inch hail and winds of 50 miles an hour. Not surprised by that. It looks like, just kind of backing this up a little bit, that if they were maybe a couple of miles south, they may have gotten a better look at it. But you know, we know there's going to be something in there as far as this goes with hail coming very close to Taylorville. I've been to Taylorville before. You go to interstate, get off the interstate from Decatur, head to the south and west. You go southeast from Springfield. Of course, Taylorville, we know that you're particularly sensitive after 2018. The tornado that came through then. This doesn't look like it's going to be a tornado threat, but if it is, we'll be there. It seems like it's going to be a hail event, and that's going to be darn close to the airport, 10 points to the south. It may slip south of town, not by much, but I think Lake Taylorville, we're going to hear some reports here pretty quickly as far as it goes in central Illinois. Kevin, we got you up. I see you now, Kevin. You're waving at me. What do you got?
Yep. Yeah, so I'm now right behind this storm, as you can see. I am going to be a few miles west of Morrisonville, and you can see kind of the back edge of this storm. So we got a pretty nice clear view as we're literally right on the southern tip of this. I'm not even in the rain anymore. So we're in a really nice position here. Traveling east, we're just behind the storm in Morrisonville, and you can kind of see the clearing that is on the kind of the right side of your screen here. And then you compare that to the left side of your screen that has the dark, heavy rainfall and that hail core that is going to be located there just to the northwest of Morrisonville and the Palmer area. And so again, you can kind of see we're kind of driving right into this. We're about, let's see here, 4 miles from Morrisonville is our location here as we travel along Morrisonville Road here. So we're just behind it. We're going to be catching back up to it here. But it looks like a pretty good hail core, but now we're kind of in that no man's land of radar data where we're getting away from St. Louis's. We don't have Lincoln, and so we're going to be kind of getting into that middle area here before too long. But we're going to be right here behind it. We're tracking it in the storm tracker here. We'll keep you up to date, and I'll let you know if I see anything else. But in a pretty good position here now to see this storm.
Kevin, it's good to see you on the open roads in central Illinois with that great view for us. We appreciate you being out there. And I know folks online are saying, hey, thanks for covering us, guys, and keeping us in the loop as far as it goes. You're a little behind it, which is good. Hail not a concern for Kevin. He's in a safe spot. The hail, though, looking pretty big on radar. It's the warning goes for quarter-size hail for Christian County until 6:15 here. That storm knocking on the doorstep of Taylorville now. It slipped between that little slice of pie between 104 and that would be 48, heading the south and west of Taylorville. I really think that this storm for Palmer, Clarkdale, and then Clarksdale, that is, and Lake Taylorville and Owanaco, really going to get some big hail out of this. So if you've got friends in those areas, you might tag them and say, hey, some hail coming your way. We've had reports of quarter-size hail with this particular storm here. And so Kevin has that nice view in the backside. You can see that purple with a little bit of white in there, an indication from our radars that there's some decent hail aloft with this. We're not getting as great of a view. Again, our radar site is down in Lincoln. It's part of the service upgrades that NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, puts out. And they're doing a service upgrade to the radar. It's just unfortunate in the 8 days that's offline, replacing some parts, getting the generators updated, and making it so that radar will function beyond 2030. Now we've got this storm coming through central Illinois. At this point, it's been, we've labeled it as a supercell thunderstorm. It's got a nice solid updraft in there. Doesn't mean with a supercell you get a tornado with it. In fact, most supercell thunderstorms don't produce that, but we are concerned with the hail threat with this. And I know we saw some folks that have checked in from Taylorville that it's getting close to there. And so we'll be looking for some of those reports, especially Lake Taylorville, Palmer, Clarksdale, Owanaco, and Millersville to the south of Taylorville. You had Highway 29 to the south and east, then between Taylorville and Pana that's going to slip across, and that'll slip across US 51, darn close to Assumption as far as it goes. So we'll watch it. We're going to stay here with this throughout the rest of the evening. and continue this digital platform coverage for you. The time now is 5:50. If you're joining us, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Meteorologist Jack Gerfen is in the wings. We've got Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy in the SK Exterior Storm Tracker watching these storms. And for us, too, it's just severe thunderstorm warnings. But it gives us a good time to practice and rehearse and what we would do as far as coverage would go on TV if we had to. I don't expect to cut in. In fact, I'll tell you what, frankly, the last thing I want to have to do is cut in on TV for a tornado warning. I don't think it's going to happen at this point. But if it does, we'll make that call and we'll jump on in. We've got Master Control standing by. We've got Studio Control standing by. We're continuing to keep you updated as far as things go here in Central Illinois. Just checking some of my texts as far as it's going, and we've got some people checking in, seeing if I've gotten any reports from friends. Some folks in Gibson City saying, hey, it's raining. What about us? We got you covered. Don't worry. As far as it goes, no other reports from that. We're looking in the chats. Again, we're focused on our Central Illinois area, but what we will do while Kevin is now coming into town, and it looks like Kevin's in Farmersville, coming past the church there in the west side. Kevin, is that Farmersville by chance?
It's Morrisonville.
Oh, and
I've got a train. Morrisonville, storm chaser's worst nightmare. Stopped at a train now.
Yeah, that happens every now and then.
Yeah, we're going to have to...
the good news,
Yeah,
Kevin,
we'll have to wait on this to pass by.
Yeah, the good news is, the train's going in front of you. You're not trying to run away and outrun a tornado. I think most storm chasers have probably had an instance like that before where, you get caught off guard and you can't predict when the train's going to be there. But it kind of reminds me, if you think back, Kevin, I know the Weather Channel had, when they tore down the dome in Atlanta, the bus that pulled in front here. We've got the train blocking the storm here for us in the view, but Kevin's there in Morrisonville. And I apologize, I missed the Interstate 55 crossover there, but that makes sense. You're coming on Highway 48 right in front of you. Behind you there is looking in Morrisonville. You pass the church and the high school there. There should be a Casey's off to your left, I think, if that's right, on 48, Kevin. So what's your plan from this point forth, Kevin? Are you going to go straight? Are you going to head towards Taylorville?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and go towards Taylorville here. Because, I really don't have too many other options. But yes, you are correct. The Casey's here on the left-hand side here on 48. So there it is there. And so we're gonna parallel the train here. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just go up towards Taylorville and 48. And yeah, we're pretty much gonna potentially core punch this storm again. So we may be going into the heaviest part of this here in the next few minutes here as well. But we're gonna come into Palmer first, and then eventually into Taylorville, and it's kind of repositioned. This area down in Christian County, of course, 48 kind of runs diagonal southwest northeast, and so there's not a lot of great road options here. So we're just going to go ahead and get back up here, at least to catch some better east road options. As a matter of fact, I might be able to outrun the start of this train here before too long. I don't know. We'll have to see if we can catch the front part of the train here in a little bit. But so again, I'm traveling northeast in 48. The heaviest part of the storm is up and to my right, so you can't really see it because of all the train cars on the track here. But we'll continue to monitor, and I'll let you know kind of where I get here in the next few minutes. But that thing is becoming a big old ball of hail and heavy rainfall. And looks like even some lightning strikes there starting to show up a little bit more as well. But we'll continue to keep you up to date. Again, we'll be coming into Palmer in the next few minutes, and then we'll kind of reposition and see what we can get.
All right, Kevin, sounds good. I think that train, that's a Norfolk Southern train. That'd be heading through Taylorville off towards Decatur more than likely. You take that northeast, and then eventually you take it up towards Monticello. But you're not going that far north. You'll cut in here. I want to say, Kevin, from a radar perspective, it looks like beyond Palmer, to when you get around the curve southwest of Taylorville is where that heaviest core is, and in fact it looks like it may have lifted a little more north here as far as the hail core goes. So I'll be interested in that 5 or 6 mile stretch past Palmer into the southwest side of Taylorville by Hewittsville if you see any hail on the ground. And if you do, you can wave at us, or we'll check back with you too and keep your stream up as far as it goes. So Kevin, just past that train. Now you're heading in there, that storm now crossing 48. We'll check back with you here in a little bit, Kevin. Keep us up to date on that. Thanks for what you're doing. All right, let's jump back to radar here. We'll go ahead and bring this full screen if we can real quick. I'm going to talk about what we're looking at with this particular storm here. A couple of those lightning strikes coming on in. It looks like, if you're familiar with Taylorville, where Highway 48, Highway 29 meet, on the southeast side there. You get the traffic light. You can take it down towards the southeast, towards Pana. You can take 48 towards Decatur. Looks like that hail core may be darn close to that intersection, if not into downtown, as far as it goes. So we'll watch it closely and keep an eye on it. I would suggest that we'll watch here up towards Stonington as far as it goes here, and see what happens if we can pop me up into green screen. That'd be helpful, I think, here. The back, I'm going to point a few features out on this particular storm. So we'll expect that this particular storm will continue to move to the east. Kincaid, it's past you. Morrisonville, it's past you pretty quickly. In the next 10 minutes or so, we'll be able to give an all clear for Taylorville. But right now, it's on your doorstep. In fact, we'll look for some reports from there. This pink area here is our hail core. But what we've done is, because that radar is down in Lincoln, we've ended up using a combination of radars to get a better view of it. And we're looking at 5,000 to 6,000 feet up into the atmosphere here. There's a good mile of real estate below that radar beam that we're not able to see what's exactly happening. And that's usually important for detecting rotation and different signatures of that. But we've got Kevin there in that shot. You can see as he's coming to the northeast there into Palmer, as he's slipping towards Taylorville. The grain elevators there along the tracks in Palmer. This core is just to the east there, and to the north and east, that is, so it'll be very, very close. Really, I think the golf course. In fact, Kevin, if you can hear me, you've got the lake south of Taylor. I know you're familiar with that area. It's hard to get across that lake, so you're probably going to have to end up either dropping around it through Taylorville or cutting to the south there. As far as it goes, there's a couple county roads down in that area.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what that move is going to be here. It's like I said, it's a little difficult part of the area, so I'm gonna have to see what I can do. This thing seems to be, is moving just dead east now, isn't it? Is this like this is not even going northeast anymore, is it?
Yeah, we've been talking about that a little bit. It was taking that northeastward track through Morgan County. It looked like it was heading towards Springfield, and sometimes these storms, as they can anchor themselves a little more to either a boundary or closer to the surface, or they strengthen, they just take that more of a right turn. And it is moving a little east here. I don't see much of a south component with it, but that may very well continue to slowly turn, from a northeast as it was to the east now, maybe eventually an east-southeast. So we'll watch it, Kevin. But you're exactly right. Moving more beeline east than anything.
Jacob, I saw that they just got some $half size hail reported there in eastern side of Taylorville, it looks like. So that would match up. So 1.25 inch hail there in Taylorville on the east side, it looks like.
And I'm not surprised about that. That's probably by the 48-29 intersection there. There's a stoplight there. You come around the golf course to the south side past Hewittsville. So not surprised at all. In fact, we'll check the chat here in a minute. I'm on the green wall looking at this, but we'll see if there's anyone in Taylorville. A few folks are checking in about that. The lightning also seems to be picking up a little, Kevin. And when you see the lightning, the strikes start to pick up, sometimes that can be a sign of strengthening. That hail aloft bouncing around, giving some energy. So if we see more lightning, that's a sign we're going to have more hail from this. That quarter-size hail coming on through with now $half size hail into Christian County based on that latest update. What I do want to do also is mention that we were talking about the radar and how we're higher up. We're not getting a closer view to the ground, but it kind of looks like it's fuzzy, almost like someone smudged it this way and that way. That's to get a better view of things here across the region as far as it goes. And so we'll continue to watch that. But it looks like, Kevin, that area of hail still quite a bit bigger here, slowly growing now. Taylorville down towards the south and east, you get towards Locust. Highway 29, that takes you down towards Pana. Here's Highway 48 towards Decatur. You hit Stonington and then eventually up towards Booty and into Macon counties. You can take the county road to the east there from the southeast side of Taylorville towards Assumption. There's Moweaqua. Here's Highway 51. That storm now squarely a Christian County problem, but I will expect momentarily in the next few minutes that Shelby County, perhaps parts of far southern Macon County may be in that, but pretty much a Shelby County issue for us here. Northern Shelby into Moultrie County. That's going to be a Shelbyville and a Sullivan track for us across the region. What we're going to do is, while Kevin's maneuvering, it looks like he's taking an eastward jog here as he's going to try and slip south of Taylorville. We're going to keep an eye on his shot as he's moving. And Kevin, if you see something or see any hail on the ground, wave to us. We'll let you know.
Well, I tell you, I got some branches and I got some sheet metal here. I don't know if you can see.
I see that. Yeah, let's bring Kevin's shot full.
A little bit of sheet metal there.
Yeah, and
So
Kevin, let us know where you're at.
So literally I am just I am south of Taylorville. I turned off onto, what is this, off of 48 onto 900 or 880, I believe. And so several, you can see here, I'm just going to turn through here, some small branches here. I kind of passed over another one, but there is a little bit, there's one little piece of sheet metal here that is alongside of the highway here, as you can see, looking right at it. Not sure what it came off of. I don't see too much else, but obviously, you know, something came off of. It almost looks like a gutter or something like that. So, so yeah, I turned off of the road here. This is, again, I believe it's 880 that I turned off of here. I'm just gonna see if I can see anything else along this path here. Kind of very rural here. Not seeing a whole lot else. I mean, these are nothing but fields, but definitely there was. I mean, that probably was not there 20 minutes ago. Yeah, so that's my current location here. I'm going to be on kind of a windy road here that kind of turns into some different county roads here.
So it doesn't look like
that's kind of what we're seeing.
You what? Yeah, I know. Nope, that battery's dead.
Okay, they kind of lost some audio there, so I'm just going to keep it going. As we're traveling along here, 930 north is what I'm on now. These county roads kind of change names and change numbers as you kind of drive along here, but definitely had some strong winds. It must have came through right off there, just the Palmer and the Taylorville area, where we had, looks like some minor tree damage there, and there was a little piece of sheet metal there. So again, I'm on a pretty rural road here. I'm trying to get past. I'm going to be actually Taylorville Lake here, and
all right, it looks like we may have lost Kevin there.
Right now.
He's coming in and out. So if Kevin can hear me, your shot's coming in and out. We'll come back to you when we get a better look at that there as far as it goes. And thanks for covering there, Kevin. We were doing a little switcheroo with some microphones as far as it goes here behind the scenes to make sure we got the batteries fresh. So we'll check back in with Kevin here momentarily. If his shot is up and looking good for a little while, we'll double box that again. In the meantime, though, still Christian County, severe thunderstorm warning. We've had a report near Taylorville of some half-dollar size hail. Also had a report of 1-inch hail that came on in Pawnee as that storm rolled on through. It looks like this storm now is in the eastern half of Christian County. That means Morrisonville, Edinburgh, over towards Kincaid, Sandcrest Lake. Those areas are good. We're okay there. We're not worried about that. It's from Taylorville to the east. Now Mowequa and Assumption, next towns in the line as far as it goes. Let's take a regional view. We haven't done that in a while. We've got some folks that are checking on in. We got a little hail reported in Rantoul by Karen. Karen, if you could let me know what size hail that is, I'd like to pass that along to the National Weather Service. It looks like some of that instability trying to sneak on in to parts of the area. So if that's the case, then we want to know if you've got hail, what sizes it is. You can measure it relative to a coin. You can measure it relative to a sporting ball. So if it's a golf ball or a baseball, probably not going to deal with that. It seems like we're only going to have some small hail up to $quarter, $half. That's what we've been saying all along here. But Champaign County, some of these isolated storms trying to pop up. I'm going to switch the radar type real quick and get a better look at it here on our NOWRAD radar. So that rain coming on in here, where we're seeing some of these hail reports from Rantoul. This leading edge here from Hoopeston out to southeastern Iroquois County. That's going to be down towards Cissna Park, over towards Milford. And then this initial line here is where we'll see some strong storms pass. So I think at this point, McLean, Livingston, DeWitt counties, Even most of Ford County is in all clear from severe weather for the evening. It's along and ahead of that line where we'll have to watch. So still, yes, Danville had some folks asking about there. What about us? What about us in Champaign? Threat's not over. It's low. Really, we think the main event's going to come from this large storm, this supercell thunderstorm with large hail in Christian County. And if you follow the general direction here, what I want to do is kind of draw the general line we think it's going to head. It's going to kind of head in that eastward direction towards Mattoon, Charleston, Sullivan, probably stay just north of Shelbyville, but it'll be at Lake Shelbyville. On a Saturday, it was warm out there. We probably got some boaters on the lakes. If you know folks who are, if you know some folks who are out in that area, very nice recreation area, beautiful area. Let them know, say, hey, you got a storm coming, get off the water as far as it goes. All right, we got Kevin back. Kevin, I think I see some hail in the side there. Is that what that is?
No, take a look at this.
Oh, wow.
There is a huge tree that it's now blocking my path here. I can't even get through. I'm not sure if this was a lightning strike or what here, but this is a very large tree that has obviously toppled over here, at least parts of it. And if you can kind of see, I'm going to back it up, you can kind of see where it was hit. And so I got a vehicle coming up behind me here, so I'm going to make sure that he's not yeah, so this is a huge tree that it almost looks like maybe a lightning strike. I can't quite tell, but it's definitely down here, as you can see. So just hold on, bear with me here. I'm not going to get out. Wow, very large tree. I know it might be kind of windy. Really can't quite tell. I mean, like I said, maybe it was lightning, but it's very difficult. But this is going to ultimately cause me some issues to get across this part of the road. Usually if lightning will hit the tree, sometimes it's still on fire. You see some smoke or something. So I don't know. I see some other tree limbs down and whatnot over here. But as you can see, this is a big mess out here right now. So yeah, again, I was trying to get back there. So I'm just going to be just southwest of Taylorville, where this is located. So yeah, that's a big tree right there.
All right, Kevin, you mentioned, did you say that the tree was, I heard like smoke. What were you saying about that?
Well, I was saying, usually sometimes after lightning hits a tree, you can see smoke or fire sometimes, but I don't see any of that.
Oh, gotcha,
so
okay.
I can't, yeah, I don't, that's why I was trying to decipher it was lightning or if it was wind. I mean, all the power poles are up here and I don't see much other tree damage, but it's kind of hard to tell. But that's a huge tree there. I don't know if I'm going to be able to lift this across on my own to get through or not. And there's not even, I can't even drive into the ditch here. So I'm going to have to find me an alternate route, it looks like. So I see maybe a homeowner over there. I might ask him and see if he knows anything. So I'll send it back to you here for right now.
All right, Kevin, thanks for that. So we had a suggestion on Facebook. Someone said you should go out and pull that tree from the road. Use those muscles you got there. But stay safe out there, Kevin. If you grab some video too, we'll check back with you here in a little bit. While Kevin's working on that, let's go ahead and go full screen. We've got a new warning that came across the table, and that's been extended for northern Shelby and Moultrie County, and also going to be for southern Macon County here. So I'll click the reset button and bring us back into the area and take a look at that here. So let me just pull this up here. That new warning goes for Macon, Moultrie, Shelby County, including areas north of Shelbyville, Lake Shelbyville, Sullivan. You go south and east of Decatur, far southeastern part of the county, south of US 36. And that warning is going to go until 7 p.m. So we've got our work cut out for us, another 50 minutes at least with this particular storm. The storm itself now crossing Highway 51 as far as it goes. That's going to be between Moweaqua and Assumption. The radar coverage out here is not that great. but we know there's some hail, we know there's some wind damage, and so we're having Kevin kind of take a look at things for us. He's down there south of Taylorville, moving off to the east eventually when he gets around that tree. So who's in, who's out? Where do we expect the hail? Where do we expect the wind? Where are we watching? This is going to include areas north of Shelbyville. It does not include downtown Shelbyville, but along the lake. A lot of boaters out in the lake. Severe thunderstorm warning heading your way. A lot of people camping probably with the nice weather. If anyone knows anyone out there, help us out. Send them a text, comment on the post here, and just say, hey, tag your friend Jimmy Joe or Sally Sue. Say, we got some storms coming your way out at the lake, up towards Sullivan, Findlay, and even Moweaqua, Assumption now, that core of the storm over them. This will move to the east, eventually downstream. Arthur, you're just off the screen here. We got Lovington, Sullivan, and then to the right there will be Coles County, Douglas County next in line. No warning yet for you, but it's coming in your general direction here. This is our only warning that we have so far. No other warnings in the area. But just that one storm we've been watching here as far as it goes. Again, it's 6:11. Let's hit a reset here and talk about what's going on. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey in the studio. We've got meteorologist Jack Gerfen working behind the scenes. Chief meteorologist Kevin Leidy is on the road in the storm tracker. We've got Jen Lask in the studio. She's watching some things behind the scenes, getting ready to figure out if we have a 6 o'clock show. If we do, the show will probably lead with weather. And if that happens, and Jen, you can talk to me at some point. I don't know if you have a mic on.
I have a mic on.
She has a mic on. So let's turn a camera towards Jen and get her in on a little bit of the fun here. Jen, we got the game going on. It's 54-47. Baylor beating Villanova right now with 2 minutes left.
I'm not about to do the play-by-play on this.
No, I'm just more curious about the 6 o'clock news, if anything.
Well, we will be finding out within the next 5 minutes if we are going to be having the newscast after this game ends. We will keep you updated. We'll know by 6:18 if we have that newscast or if we will be continuing to follow CBS Sports with the game. And, of course, you know, like you've been able to see so far, we are streaming right now. But I did want to run you through a couple things, Jacob, if
Sure.
you don't mind me.
Yeah.
Just
Take her
telling
full.
people what we've got in store for 9 and 10 as well, and our stories are already being posted online too. But give me one moment just to cue some of the things up. But
You've been busy today, Jen. You have. So.
we have been busy. There's a lot of news as well. One of the things that we are keeping tabs on is Springfield's police department is hiring now. This is the first time in more than a year and a half that they've been able to put those job openings out there. They have 29 different openings between, you know, normal attrition. So they would say, and there's also been some injuries in officers who were deployed in the military. So that is happening in
Probably going to miss the
Springfield.
game, but if we can get 5 minutes
Cole
on TV.
Hankey is going to be giving us the latest updates on that.
I've got permission. So we're
We
just kind of
also
watching
have
play by ear.
activists who are hosting a rally to stop anti-Asian violence. There are rallies happening all across the country today. They've been happening yesterday as well. We had a group that gathered at the U of I alma mater statue, holding up signs encouraging people to unite against Asian hate. We heard from several different speakers. Our reporter Abigail Metch is working on that story, and we'll have those updates for you on that tonight as well. Now, one of the stories that we have been following throughout the last couple of days is the death of State Trooper Todd Hannikin, and his family has now released a statement in the wake of his death. I want to read a little bit of that to you just while we are taking a break from the weather coverage. But his family said in part, quote, "We want the world to know he was a great husband, father, son, brother, and friend. His legacy will be entrusted in all of us to carry his legacy forward." And you can see that's on the screen now. It also says, the legacy is this: live your life to honor your loved ones, hold them tight, prioritize what matters. That full statement is on our website, WCIA.com. You can learn more about the trooper, not just in his career, but also as a family member, as a friend. They just had some really lovely, lovely words about him, and you can just tell he will be missed by so many people. So that is on our website, as well as our coverage over the last couple of days of his death. Some of the other stories that we are covering as well, there has been a delay in census data. We're looking at how this impacts the city of Decatur in particular. That's something that we have been covering over the last year. Decatur has annexed different homes that were on the fringes of the city. They have been working to recruit businesses and people to the area because they want people to know, one, it's a great place to live, and two, you know, the more people that are counted in the census, and this is why you've heard so many different cities saying, please fill out that information. That helps with tax dollars that goes towards transportation and so many other resources. And those are just some of the stories that we will be airing later tonight. Again, we've got about 2 more minutes now until we know for sure if we will have a 6 p.m. newscast or not. And I want to send it back over to Jacob Dickey right now, back to the severe weather coverage. Jacob, what is the latest?
Yeah, we're watching an extension to our severe thunderstorm watch that's going on here, and that's been extended for Douglas, Coles, Cumberland, Edgar, and Clark County. If you have the WCIA3 weather app, you just got the notification of that on there. That's why we love for you to have the app. Just one storm. The storm of the day for us in central Illinois, for now with southeastern Macon, northern Shelby, and all of Moultrie County under a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 7. Our watch has been extended until 9 o'clock here as far as it goes. With the game winding down, Jen, while you're here, if you can kind of help, and we'll figure this out in the back, we may have a little time where we try and get the TV in. If the game ends, they go to break, we'll do some TV coverage and then jump back to our 6:30 programming. We're not going to cover up the game, but we'll just come in and kind of give an update for a few minutes because I know we have Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy out in the field, and we'll let him share what's going on and whatnot. And hopefully, Jen, we get through the day without any severe weather reports that news has to clean up after our mess in weather as far as it goes. Looks like, Jen, you had something to say real quick?
I do want to say something on that really quickly because I have been out in the newsroom as well. I've had some people call and ask why we cut in sometimes, why we have a weather crawl at the bottom of our screen. And it's not to be a pain. We are here. Our number one priority every single day when we cover weather, when we cover news, is to make sure that people are safe. And if you are somewhere where you are able to watch this game safely and the weather has not affected your home, that's wonderful. And really, we're relieved that this isn't affecting you. But that is not the case for everyone else. That's why Kevin is out there. That's why Jacob has been on here for a significant amount of time already and will continue to be live. We are here to make sure that every viewer is safe in our area. And if we have to cut in, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, you know, we stay off the game, but the crawl and the bug lets folks know, hey, there's storms in the, I get it. It covers the scoreboard up. We're staying here on the digital as far as platforms go and not cutting into the game. Looks like, just seeing an update from the Storm Prediction Center, the severe weather threat continues from them. They're saying some hail and winds will continue here as far as it goes. So there's Kevin's shot. Now he's moving off to the east, has seen some damage. If you can hear me, Kevin, pretty quickly here. The game's got about a minute left. We may end up sneaking in a few minutes of coverage on TV while we're out of the game before the 6:30 newscast, or before the 6:30 show comes on. We're not going to cover that up, but we may have just a little bit of time to do that. So I want to check in with Kevin real quick. Kevin, we'll give you a minute or two to kind of let us know where you are if we can hear him. There we go. And so, Kevin, where are you at? What have you seen? And then we'll get kind of our ducks in a row here behind the scene.
Sure, no problem. So I'm trying to get myself repositioned after being unable to navigate across one of the county roads there is at 900. So now I'm in some rural country roads of Christian County here. And the reason is because of a large tree that was down, and so I couldn't even get across there. So I'm now on actually 800 North, East 800 North Road, if you're familiar. But I would be surprised if you are able to hear and see me still, because of we're kind of out in some rural areas, but hopefully the signal is getting back there okay. I'm just trying to get back caught up with this storm, which at this point, because of, well, unfortunately, that huge tree, I mean, there was no way. There were some 20 to 24-inch diameter limbs down with that. I mean, you're talking almost 2 feet around. Those are some big, huge limbs that came down there, and there were multiple. I would have loved to have gotten out and been able to just move those across with my muscles and whatnot, but that was not going to happen with as many as there were there. But you know, it's kind of hard to tell if that was wind related or if that was a lightning strike. But boy, there were several of those limbs that were down. So now I'm going to do my best to try to get back out in front of this. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I mean, if I can, I might. I'm going to shoot as far east and as quick as I can towards maybe Coles County there, and maybe get back ahead of it. But that is going to be a tall task for me. So we'll continue to kind of see how things go. But I know you guys are getting ready for maybe some coverage there. So for now, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. I think the plan is the game's got about 50 seconds left. When the game hits 0, we're going to just do a cut-in real quick, and we're kind of talking behind the scenes here. Folks in the digital get a little extra. What will happen is Jen's going to open the show, and then we will, what we'll do is we will toss to me. I'll cover a little bit about our warning and watches, and we'll toss to you for a few seconds. You can kind of fill in what you've seen and where you're heading. We'll wrap it up pretty quickly, toss to digital, and have folks come there. We may only get about 2-3 minutes as far as it goes, but that's what the plan will be here moving forward.
Hey, Jacob, I don't know if you can still hear me or not.
I can.
But I just tweeted that picture of that huge tree down. I don't know if you can get that into the system for the cut-in to be able to show, but I just tweeted that and posted it. So if you want to grab that, feel free.
All right, so Kevin just tweeted a picture of the damage. If we want to get that into graphics or something, we can make something happen here. What I might do for that is we'll pull it in on our Weather Scandu computer for the brief little newscast that we have. So that's what we'll plan here. I think Demario can probably see that. We don't have to pull it now, but when I get it up here, we'll kind of toss to that as far as it goes. So the warning continues now. That storm is now out of Christian County. It's primarily a northern Shelby, far southeastern Macon, and then a Moultrie County square-on problem here momentarily. The hail core looks like it's coming down a little bit, but that's what we're looking at here. So let me open this picture just to have it ready. If Demario is able to see that, let me know if you can just see on the Weather Scandu. Is he able to see that picture by chance? He's not able to see that. Okay, Jen, are you able to pull a picture in on the rundown? All right, we'll have Jen do that, and she'll put it into the rundown if we can grab that, and she'll work with that behind the scenes. So let me exit out of this. And the game's at 40 seconds. We may not even get a show, but that's okay. Let me exit full screen here.
Behind the scenes look for everyone.
You really are, yeah. That's kind of how things sometimes roll around here. Is we just want to make sure we're looking good for the television, but we're good here on the stream as far as it goes for what's happening. All right. So let me pull the radar back up here. They're doing some shots. They've got about 38 seconds, so we may very well get a couple of minutes here. We'll get your picture on pretty quickly here. I want to talk to the warning real quick before we toss to a quick black screen break so we can get our TV show on and go in here for a few minutes. Muikwa, Assumption, it's all clear. The storm's past Payne. It looks like it's weakening. The storm itself may be in a collapsing stage, which would be good for folks that are in Coles and Douglas County, but that may bring some gusty winds and some hail for the near future into Moultrie County. That warning goes until 7 o'clock. And we've got 60-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail for the warning there. It includes the Sullivan right now, Dalton City, Bethany, Lovington, Findlay. It's past Muikwa and Assumption on 51 there. This is east of 51, but some heavy rain and wind likely even in Mount Zion as far as it goes. We got a report of a shelf cloud from Todd, and he's watching from Moultrie County towards the Sullivan area. And so that's what we would expect with this as far as it goes. Just this one warning here in central Illinois. All right, they're about 27 seconds out, and we may only get a brief minute or two, if that. And at this point, what I think we'll do is we'll just bring me off the top with the open, if we get enough time here. You know how the end of the NCAA games go is they call timeouts left and right as far as it goes. So, okay, if you're watching on our digital, we're going to take a step back real quick. And the game looks like it's about to wrap up. So if Troy and Master knows, what we'll do is we'll start with me. We'll toss to Kevin real quick. We'll wrap it up by, I believe it's 6:27:55. If you can confirm that and put a timer on for me, that'll be good, and we'll run with it here. So we will wait for the game to officially be over. They'll toss to commercial. The game's over, and so we'll be on here momentarily. So please stand by if you're on our digital platforms. Kevin, if you're on too, go ahead and stand by.
Hey, is this normal?
We can mute Kevin. Hey, we're just going to start with me, Jen.
So that the storm caused that?
If we can mute Kevin. Oh, perfect. Okay, there's that picture we can see that Kevin took. I appreciate that, Jen. All right, Kevin, we're only going to have about 2 minutes till we have to wrap, so we'll be real brief with you. And then we'll... If we can just cut now, I think at this point the game's over. And we can start on me on cam, that'd be great. I'm WCIA3 meteorologist Jacob Dickey here. The game is over. We're going to have a quick cut-in with some severe weather updates for you as we've got severe weather pushing through the area. We've been covering it on our digital platforms here as far as it goes. One severe thunderstorm warning to work with right now, northern Shelby, Moultrie, and Macon County. That goes until 7 o'clock. That warning has been with a single storm that's had some $quarter to $half size hail and some wind damage. We can see the picture right now. Bring that full screen and see some of that wind damage that has happened from Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy. He's out in the field now. Kevin, if you're there, we've got about 30 seconds. Give us an update on what you've seen.
Yeah, so we've been traveling here into Christian County. Came across some trees that came down, and also I was just at a location where a power line was leaning over, and talked to a gentleman that says that there are a few power lines that are down here into Christian County. This is Taylorville Lake that I'm actually crossing here, but I'm told there are a few lines that are down in this area. Into kind of southwest of Taylorville, and we saw some tree damage and supposedly a few power lines that are down here as well. We're going to continue to keep tracking the storm for you, but definitely some wind damage here has occurred in parts of Christian County.
All right, thanks, Kevin. We are going to continue this coverage on our digital platform. You can join us right there on Facebook and on the app as the severe thunderstorm warning continues, the severe thunderstorm watch until 5 o'clock. In the meantime, we'll send it back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right, we'll keep running the digital platform then. Thank you all for that. So we're back here on our digital. Jen wants to say something.
No, I just wanted to give everyone an update really quickly. We will have all of the different stories that we've been covering on our website, WCIA.com, on the news apps as well. And then we will, of course, have the latest updates at 9 and 10. But for now, I am going to be staying right here in studio with Jacob, just as part of the team coverage that we have for the severe weather, for other news as well. And I'm going to send it back to Jacob, but just wanted to update everyone on that aspect too.
Sounds good. We appreciate it, Jen. Got a good update here. This is actually good news. It is 6:28, the severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like, and let me triple check that, has just been canceled for Macon, Moultrie, and Shelby counties. We kind of mentioned before that severe thunderstorm warning was going to continue until 7. If I roll on through here and loop that for you, you'll see over the last couple of hours how that storm has generally had a downward trend. And so what I think we're going to do is we'll stay on our coverage here on digital for a little while longer since we teased everyone. Come join us on our digital platforms for some coverage. But the warning has been dropped. It has been canceled early. That means the threat's diminishing for some of those areas here in central Illinois. So we'll be on for a little while longer here and get Kevin in one more time, I think. But you can see on the last number of scans here how the storm was strong and producing some big hail for Pawnee and Taylorville and to the east there. Recently it seemed like it's collapsed, run out of energy, the instability waning as the sun starts to go down, and will no longer be a problem for us here. Still, though, probably a very nice view if folks are watching us in Moultrie County. We were watching downstream. We were saying, hey, this is heading in the general direction of Douglas, Coles County. Not worried about you anymore. Hail threat over for you. Not a concern. That warning just canceled. So all we have then is a severe thunderstorm watch for areas south of Interstate 72. We'll take a regional view here and you don't see a whole lot. What I want to do is bring up our alternate radar real fast. This one complex has been our headache for the day as it came across south of Springfield in Sangamon County, cut through the heart of Christian County, and then southeastern Macon, Moultrie, northern Shelby County. Primarily a hail and wind threat, but it looks like it's weakening and maybe lifting a little more north, which is good news. And we'll continue to do that. We'll still have some rain showers, still have some thunder and lightning along this line here, but let's be optimistic and say maybe this will be all we have to deal with tonight here in central Illinois. That threat primarily has been for hail and wind. I turn on some of that lightning. Good lightning storm over by Rantoul. We'll zoom in on that a little bit for you. Coming out of northeast Champaign there, looks like Rantoul, Thomasboro, towards Flatville, Gifford. Some good rumbles of thunder there likely. No severe weather, maybe a little small hail, but not concerned. Nice rain showers and thunderstorms still coming in through Lovington, Arthur, Atwood, Hammond, Sullivan. And moving off here, carry through Douglas County and miss Mattoon, Charleston. That's good news. We like hearing that the warning is canceled. There will probably still for a little while longer be some small hail, but if I had to look at things here and make a bet, that hail has dropped out entirely. We're not getting a great radar view again because of the way the National Weather Service upgrade programs are. This was the week for Lincoln. They wanted to get it before spring season. And now we're looking at radars from far away. We've got to look from Evansville, St. Louis, Indianapolis, Chicago, the Quad Cities to cover us. It still is good that we have that. We can see a lot of things. We're just spoiled here in central Illinois and having to look here a little closer. So still a lot of lightning coming in towards Sullivan, Lovington, Highway 36 from Decatur to the east. That'll be towards Cerro Gordo, Atwood, Hammond, even towards Tuscola eventually. So there will be storms coming your way, but at this point the severe threat is not existing anymore and may very well be over. If that's the case, we'll be appreciative for that. Kind of watching to the south and east here, we see some of these towns, and I'm going to turn the towns off here. Here's the Interstate 44 from Rolla up to St. Louis. There's 55. There's 70. Here's Interstate 72, 74, 57. This leading line here is where we'll watch for these strong storms. Once that line passes, yes, there's still some storms coming in Morgan County right now. A few rumbles of thunder in Sangamon County. The severe threat, though, pretty close to zero, if not zero, behind that boundary as storms are elevated as far as it goes. So we will continue to watch it here as the area and keep you updated. We'll run through a few graphics before we check in with Kevin real quick. So Kevin, we'll check in here in a moment with you. This is what we've been watching. We'll keep the threat till 10 o'clock tonight. We may not be done, but we'll wrap up coverage here in the next 10 minutes or so on our digital platforms. Large hail damaging winds, the main threat. I think at this point the tornado threat is very low. We had it at low for the day. It's very low. I'm not really worried with the way things have been materializing, but we have had high winds and large hail. In fact, we did have a tree down. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Leidy saw that. Kevin's out in the field now, and it looks like he's slowing down somewhere. If we can bring him up in that double box there, I'd like to take a peek and see what Kevin's doing. So there we are. Can Kevin hear us by chance?
Yeah.
Kevin, are you there?
Yes, I can. We're actually live on the air right now. Jacob, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Tell us more of what's going on.
Okay, great. Well, if you do you mind talking to me just for a second? Just outside here. We'll just jump right in front. I just came upon a gentleman here that you live here, right? And so we're just gonna let me turn this camera so you can see us a little bit better. Give me a second here. Sorry, guys. Kind of doing some live maneuvering here on the air with you. First off, what's your name? Eric. So you live over here? What do you got?
The wind come this way and blew part of my shed roof off. Shed roof kind of tore that power line off. It was all out in the field. I was kind of picking it up. So we're
just the wind, you think?
Really strong winds.
Really strong winds that came through. So there's a power line down right here, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you got power line, and then what do you got? Some sheet metal or something down?
Well, it was. I just got done picking it up.
Got done picking it up and taking it across.
It's all in the barn. Yep.
So just quick storm, kicked up a lot of wind.
A lot of wind. Yep. Yeah. We were inside and come outside. Got a little tree down there. Not a big tree, but a little tree. And just strong winds.
Strong winds coming through. There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Over done. There's a piece of metal there in the tree still. So.
Where's it at?
Right there, stuck in the tree.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Yeah. So you didn't see any kind of circulation or anything like any?
No, we were kind of looking out towards the south there, and I don't know. There were some clouds out there. I don't think they were spinning or nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy, but.
Good deal. All right.
Yeah.
So a little bit of metal and some tree, and got your power line down here. It looks like.
Yeah.
So, okay.
stopping traffic till the power guys come. So.
Yeah, for sure. Well, looks like we're caught once again, having to go. There was a tree that was down, a few county roads down as well, big, huge 20-inch diameter tree limbs, and so had to go another direction. And then we saw some power lines or some poles that were actually leaning over. But this is kind of the first line we've seen across. But all right, Eric, thanks, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
What was your last name again?
Bertoldo.
Can you spell that?
Bertoldo.
Bertoldo. Bertardo. Eric Bertardo. And this is considered, what would you consider that area? Is this?
We're considered Awanaco.
Awanaco?
Johnson Township.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right, very good. Okay, guys, so there you go. I appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
Be careful. So we got a power line down, and this county road is this is 1350. Yeah, this is 1350 at the intersection of 600. So 1350 and 600 here in Christian County, Awanaco area. Power line is down out here, as you can see. Eric, I'll let you get back to it. Thanks. I appreciate it. I got to find me another direction back the other way. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I might be able to do that. Yeah. Okay, very good. Thanks, Eric. So there you go, Jacob. So a power line down here. He's got some sheet metal here down, or it's actually still up into the tree. I know it's kind of difficult to see through there, but obviously a little bit of damage here. There's been multiple areas, so the wind must have really picked up over here because we've had some had a power pole leaning down. We had those trees earlier there as well. So so yeah, a little bit of damage here in parts of Christian County.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Jen's here. She's writing stuff down. We got to keep her busy now. She's smiling at me. Kevin, I do want to ask you real quick. You said you had that power line down and that sheet metal. Is that the only damage that you've seen so far? You had some hail earlier. Was there any hail in that area?
No, I mean, if there was, it was a while ago. So like, it's been a second. And this is rural area where you've got houses that are half a mile between each other, so it's hard to put together any kind of a path or something that would have occurred. But it's been pretty sporadic. You'll catch you'll see maybe some limbs here and there, but definitely there were some strong winds here into southwestern portions of Christian County. There's no doubt, because like I said, every half mile or so I'll see some small limbs down and whatnot. But this is kind of the first power lines down across the road here. But definitely some strong winds. As he said, he didn't see any circulation or anything or any spinning, but definitely just some strong winds that came through.
All right, thanks for that report, Kevin. I think that might be what we do for the day from you. We'll talk afterwards about 9 and 10 if you're still going to be out, but I kind of have the feeling, Kevin, and you can chime in here in a minute.
Probably not.
Yeah, it seems like the severe threats are waning.
Yeah, I mean, it is, and so I'm just going to I'll just get a few pictures here and whatnot, and there's probably not much else we can do. That storm's exiting, and we're pretty much going to be done. Exception of, I don't know if some of those storms that are down south of St. Louis or down south closer to I-70, I know there were some cells down there. Are those kind of clearing out as well? Because that would be some great news if that was the case.
Yeah, overall, that southern storm that came through St. Louis did the same thing, kind of collapsed on itself. No warnings in Missouri even from this batch here. So whole area is just seeing some heavy rain, some wind. We did get some reports on social of some pea-sized hail in Sullivan. That's just coming in. And raining hard in Monticello, a little bit windy with the temperature dropping. That's what's coming next, Kevin, the cold front. That's with us here with that big drop in temperatures tonight. So still some scattered showers and storms will continue. So we'll let you go, Kevin. Maybe grab a bite to eat somewhere, find some barbecue or a nice good sandwich somewhere up in Taylorville as far as it goes. So thanks for your reports throughout the day, and we will work behind the scenes to get some of that footage and whatnot from you. Jen Lask will text you and be in contact about what to do for the newscast. So great work today, Kevin. Thanks for what you've done, and have a great rest of your day. All right, thanks, Jacob. All right, we'll see you later. Let's do one last wrap-up here with radar coverage before we call it a day, and at least on digital platforms, and then we'll monitor behind the scenes. Not really concerned right now about things. That one storm now is centered on Moultrie County. This was the storm that was warned earlier, but you don't see any of those dark pinks across central Illinois. Sullivan is getting some heavy rain and some pea-sized hail. Not severe. Probably some thunder and lightning in there, and a little bit of that rain making it north towards the 36 quarter. You get towards Cerro Gordo and off to the east towards Atwood, and then you eventually come in towards Tuscola. Probably going to be some heavy rain there. Cooks Mill, Arcola, Tuscola. I don't expect the storm to become severe again. I think the hail threat will stay small, and and the storm really, it seems like it kind of collapsed on itself. A lot of times you get these instability in place that allows for a lot of vertical motion. All of that mass of the storm, the rain and hail is aloft. When it collapses out on itself, it cuts the inflow off, and just that's what we're looking at here. This storm not going to be much of a concern for us. Yes, you'll get some breezy winds, maybe some small hail, and some lightning and thunder will continue definitely across parts of the area. But as that cold front continues to push through, very much would expect things to wind down here over the next hour or so, even more. We'll do one last check. This is our severe weather alert, severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock for areas south of Interstate 72. I really think at this point, Springfield, Jacksonville, even Taylorville, Decatur, probably even as far south as Litchfield and Carlinville. We can call all clear there. The watch will continue regardless, but you'll see those updates in the crawl at the bottom of our screen. They did extend that watch, and that may have been what did it there. If we don't extend the watch, the storm keeps going. We extend the watch, the storms collapse. That might be how it worked for us today. But they did extend that watch for Douglas, Agricola, Cumberland, and Clark County. No severe thunderstorm watch for anyone on or north of Interstate 74. But we'll keep an eye out for folks that are across the region here with that chance for some strong storms out there continuing into the area. So this is what we're looking at for those alerts. No warnings, no severe weather as of now. But getting a little pea-sized hail still reported, some light rain and thunder continuing. If there's another severe thunderstorm warning, we'll come back to our digital platforms right here. In the meantime, I want to show a couple current graphics here. Look at this. This tells the story. There's that cold front. In fact, what may have happened, you see it's 75 in Petersburg, 65 in Champaign, down to 56 in Bloomington. About that yellow line is where your cold front is right here. The cold front may have very well undercut that storm, and if that happens, then we're really done with the severe threat. So in those areas still in the 70s out there, Mattoon, Charleston, Paris, Effingham points to the south. We'll watch for you, but I think we're done for areas that are behind it. Yes, still some storms. Yes, still some thunder, lightning, and heavy rain. Maybe a little small hail, but just not overly worried about things the rest of the night, as that is the case. And really with those dew point values, I think you'll see the same thing. They're fairly low here. They haven't been all that high through the day. We got to the 50s and got a little instability in here, a little narrow corridor which that storm latched onto as far as it goes. And then we'll look at these wind speeds here across the region. There it is. You can see this white line here where those wind arrows are kind of turning. That cold front now has undercut that storm. That's what's going on here. And no more warm air for it to feed on, so it collapses and dies, and that should be good. So once that cold front pushes through, we'll end up being severe clear maybe a little earlier than 10 o'clock tonight, maybe even by 8 o'clock, the way things are trending across central Illinois. Winds will pick up, though, out of the north and west tonight. We will have some strong winds and colder air in on Sunday. The night will still bring some light showers across the region. In fact, Sunday temperatures, today we're in the 70s. We're only in the 40s, struggling to get into the 50s tomorrow. We've got those forecast updates for you on our website, WCIA.com, and on the app. I'll tell you what, there's another cold front coming in the middle of next week. I think I'm going to get a dirty look from Jen now. I know I am. That cold front will drop us from the upper 60s down to highs in the low to middle 40s and may give us a chance for a slight transition of some snowflakes mixing on it. There it is. Dirty look.
There was no dirty look.
Oh, yeah. Nobody around here likes it when the weatherman says wintry weather. I won't expect any impacts from it, but after this nice weather we've been having, it'll be a bit of a shock to the system as far as it goes. One last check here with the radar on full screen and running, and then we'll wrap up this coverage. Again, you can count on your WCIA3 weather team for the latest updates. We'll watch these storms, but with that cold front undercutting things, and keeping instability away, I don't expect any more problems out there. We'll probably still have some wind, some rain, some thunder and lightning over the next couple of hours, but that's expected. It doesn't always have to be a concern, but that's what we'll watch here as far as things go. Evan's saying there's lots of thunder and lightning in Arcola. Not surprised. Priscilla saying spring rain is good. You bet it is. We'll take all the spring rains we can here. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Chief meteorologist Kevin Leidy was in the field. Meteorologist Jack Gerfen working behind the scenes. We had Jen Lask in the studio. If we have to, we'll cut back on our digital platforms and keep you updated there. I suspect more than likely, though, the next time you'll hear from us will be on WCIA3 News on WCIX at 9 o'clock and then at 10 o'clock. I don't know, is that planning on being delayed?
Clock will be going on time.
Great. Good news.
So we will see you at 10 o'clock.
Sounds good. Jen's ready for that. I know. She's got a lot of news stories.
We do. We have a lot of stories. We have a great team that has been working throughout the day to bring you the latest news. And, of course, all those pictures and videos from Kevin, we'll be seeing those as well.
Sounds good. All right, thanks for joining us here on social media and on our digital platforms. You can count on your WCIA3 weather team to keep you up to date with the latest information on our digital platforms. Download that app, a great way to stay connected with us. In the meantime, we hope to not see you again until 9 and 10 o'clock tonight, but if we have to, we'll jump back on in and watch some of these storms pass through the area with you. I'm meteorologist Jacob Dickey. Have a great rest of your night. We'll see you tonight at 9 to 10.